We're back on Closer Look Friday, the 27th day of June, 2025, as we get set to head into the Canada Day long weekend. Kind of weird the way that it falls
Tuesday
this year. Yeah, it is weird. Great conversation last night with Tomas, the commissioner of the OPP, and Andy Bradford, the acting detective superintendent of the OPP's Organized Crime Enforcement Bureau. Man, that is quite the title.
Yeah, and Derek had the best question of the day.
Best line ever.
After you guys were watching the show, editing and getting ready. This huge drug bust, the largest in OPP.
Biggest in history. This guy's orchestrated.
I think maybe Andy needs to lose the acting title.
100%.
I think maybe the job should be his. Yeah. So if the OPP commissioner is watching, maybe it's time to have a conversation.
Commish, it's time.
Have a conversation.
That's right.
Speaking of time, we have made it to the end of the first week,
yes,
Scott.
We have.
And, I'm not going to lie. We look all polished, but we're a little bit nervous this week. It was our first time doing a daily podcast. This is our kind of pilot week. We are going to be off for a couple weeks after today. But we're giving this a shot. We gave it to see how we did for a week. And I don't think it could have gone better. I really thought we had excellent guests and really interesting shows.
Yeah, great bookend starting Monday with former MP Charlie Angus. And, of course, as promised, ending today with Stanley Cup champion Jonah Gadjovich. So,
I love that, right? I mean, what a great way to celebrate the last week. We have a Stanley Cup champ, our second Stanley Cup champ to come on our podcast since we started, but the first to come on Closer Look. And what I love about Jonah is, as I'm sure most hockey fans know, there's a viral video out there of Paul Maurice, the head coach of the Florida Panthers, telling his fourth line that you guys are going on the ice when the buzzer goes. You're going to be the line on the ice because of what you did when we were down 2-0 to Toronto. It's a made-for-movie clip, that viral video, and Jonah was one of the stars of it. So it'd be great to hear what he has to say about that and a whole bunch of other things about winning the Stanley Cup.
The Florida Panthers captured their second straight Stanley Cup a little over a week ago, defeating the Edmonton Oilers in 6 games. Jonah Gadjovich was on the ice when the buzzer went and joins us tonight. Jonah, 2-time Stanley Cup champ. Do you think you'll ever get tired of hearing that?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's still, I don't even know. It still hasn't really sunk in, I guess. But incredible hearing that for sure.
Has the hangover worn off yet? Or are you still...
Yeah, you know what? The night that we won, we partied pretty hard in the locker room, and I was definitely hurting the next day. But I got the 2 little kids there, so I'd have a couple of drinks, every outing that we had. But at the end of the day, I had to come home and be a dad, and baby's waking up early in the morning, got to be a dad. So
that's right.
Had to keep it a little tame, but I definitely enjoyed myself.
Yeah, they don't know that you just won your second straight Stanley Cup. You'll tell them later in life, but they don't know that. I know that feeling. They don't know. They don't care what you're doing.
Exactly. They just want their breakfast and to play. So.
That's awesome. Well, congrats, Jonah, again. Thanks for joining us. I do want to get into one thing right away. Obviously, we've all seen this video that's gone viral across the internet. Paul Maurice, just a legendary coach, just a great guy, talking to your line about getting on the ice for the end of the Cup. Can we play it for you? Can you listen to it with us? Is that okay?
Do it. Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
I'm going to get you out there. I want you 3 guys on the ice for the last shift. So you throw your off when we win this, because we're down 2-0 against Toronto, and you got us here. You get the last shift. Barkov! Nose has the last shift!
How many times have you watched that, Jonah?
Oh, man, countless times for sure. I love that video. It's so cool. It brings back just such a special memory. I wasn't expecting, that to happen, obviously, and they had their goalie pulled. I think we had scored an empty netter, and then I think they had scored like right after that. So he was like, we were rolling like the other 3 lines, and we were kind of sitting there like, just waiting to get out there, obviously. And, if that was going to happen. And then just he kind of tapped us and let us know that, hey, like, you're going to get out there, and I want you to be out there for the final buzzer. And it just I think it shocked all 3 of us, but the video, you can see the smile coming to my face, and I was like, hey, hold on a second. You got a couple of shifts left. Like, you gotta, so I kind of tried to get serious again, but it was incredible. And I know it meant the world to, all 3 of us.
It's the stuff of movies when you see it.
Really
it almost felt like I was watching a movie when I watched that clip. What does it say about the kind of coach Paul Maurice is?
Yeah, I think it says a lot. I think it shows how much he cares about each and every one of his players. I've personally had so many amazing interactions with him, and he's been so supportive of me and my family, and he's a guy that people say, hey, call me in the middle of the night if you need anything, like I'm there for you, and like he actually is, and I've done that.
Yeah.
And it just shows how amazing he is, and not only as a coach, like as a coach he's incredible. Like he speaks to us before a game, and you're ready to, you're like, just let's drop the puck right now. Like it's so fired up, and that's just the type of speaker he is, the type of coach he is, and then the type of person he is as well. He's so loving and caring of all his players.
Well, on a side note, as you know, our headquarters here is in Sault Ste. Marie. It's where Village Me's headquarters is. Right across the street, you probably played some junior hockey games at the gardens across the street here against the Sioux Greyhounds. Just for the record, we've tried to get Paul on the show a couple times, and he's too busy to jump on. So what I need you to do is give him a call after you get off the show. Tell them that it's a fantastic podcast, and you definitely want to talk to these guys. I mean, they're sitting in your hometown. So just about to put that in your ear,
excuses.
okay? No excuses.
All right.
Just put that, text him when we're done.
I'll put in a good word.
Yeah, for sure. The that moment though, Jonah, it's a cliche question, but can you talk about that, being on the ice when the buzzer goes and you've just won the Stanley Cup?
Yeah. Oh, so cool to look back on still. It really is hard to put into words, but I got out there. We actually ended up getting 2 shifts after Paul said that. There was a whistle, and I think there was about 2 minutes left. And then he looked back at us. He's like, "Hey, you're getting 2 shifts, not 1." So we went out there and put in a quick one, came off, and went back out. And I think we were in the neutral zone, skated around a little bit, whatever, chipped the puck in, kind of glancing up at the clock. And I remember I was kind of like in front of our net a little bit. And I look up, and there was like maybe 25 seconds left, and the Oilers, like, they had kind of pulled out of our zone. Forsey had the puck behind the net, and I'm kind of looking around like, oh my gosh, like this is it, So I kind of I didn't really know what to do. I kind of skated over. I think I gave Eki a hug, and then I looked. There was about 20 seconds left, and then like Chucky jumped on the ice, no helmet on, like skated at Bob, and then like the rest of the guys started to follow, and I'm thinking like, okay, I guess we're just like doing it now. Like we're not waiting for the buzzer to go. So then I, toss my stuff off and jump into the pile. And, it's, oh man, I don't know. I mean, we did it obviously the year before, and, but then to be on the ice for the final buzzer and to just, be out there this year, it just felt a little different. It was pretty awesome.
Well, and what a difference a year makes, right, Jonah? I mean, last year, you're, what do they call it? A black ace when you're not dressed, but you're part of the team. And then fast forward to this year, you're on the ice when the buzzer sounds. I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously something you dream of as a kid, and the year before, I was there the whole year, part of it. Learned from all the guys, the coaches, and put in the work, stayed ready, and stayed positive. And but I learned so much. I think. When you're on a team like this, like there's no egos, there's no, no negative thoughts. You're happy to be there. You're happy to be part of it, and you're learning. And I think that when I got in this year, I was able to take that experience of just being around the team last year and just being around for, the practices, the games, the preparation. So, when I was actually playing this year, it's kind of like, I didn't feel nervous. I didn't feel, not too high, not too low. That's kind of how we talk about it, is just, staying even keeled. And, I felt that calmness just having been around last year. And I think that, it's just how this group rolls. They've been to 3 Cup finals, won 2 of them, 2 in a row. And, a lot of experience and just confidence.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Your GM, Bill Zito, has made some fantastic moves, particularly this year, bringing in the likes of Seth Jones. But tell me what the reaction was in the room and certainly with you when you heard that Brad Marchand was joining your team.
It was honestly like shock. You joke. You're like, okay, like, who's feeding these guys like false information? But it was, I mean, yeah, like when it went through and we were kind of like, is this actually happening? insane. And then getting to meet Marshy for the first time, I wasn't sure what to expect. You see him on the ice, you see how he can be, and he's definitely an easy guy to not like when you play against him, right? But when you meet him and you get to know him, you're like, this guy is one of the most incredible human beings I've ever met. He's got time for everyone. He's, absolutely hilarious, always cracking jokes, like making fun of guys. It's incredible. Like he's such an awesome teammate, and obviously just a warrior on the ice. Everyone saw what he did this year, and he's such a good leader and an incredible teammate.
What struck me too as a Canadian hockey fan, you're Canadian as well. We have these misconceptions about some of the American markets. Like you think, teams in Florida or California, but seeing the vibe in Florida for the Panthers fans, I mean, crazy. What tell us what's that like to play? I mean, this is a state where you never would have thought hockey would take off, and it's unbelievable there.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, when I was playing in San Jose, you always kind of circled that trip to Fort Lauderdale on the calendar because you get to post up on the beach for a couple days, and it's such a great time. And I remember always thinking, people are like, where would your number one place that you'd play? Like Florida, for sure. Team, great group, hard group to play against, and you live in Florida, right on the beach. Are you kidding me? Who wouldn't want to do that,
Yeah.
And luckily, I got the opportunity to play here, and I've loved my time. I love living there. Obviously, I love playing, with that group, the staff. Everyone there is incredible, and again, that's why this group has success, is because of everyone involved. And it's a lot of fun to play there.
Yeah. Here's my one political question. Was it a little bit different this year with what's going on with the trade war between the two countries, you being a Canadian? Did you feel that at all?
Honestly, I don't really watch the news. I don't know enough about what was going on, but they were kind of booing back and forth at times when we'd be playing in Canada or playing a Canadian team. You hear it, and obviously I know it's affected a lot of people, but I don't know enough to have really dived into it, I guess.
Jonah, you always hear after the playoffs are done, the injuries that players were playing with, and it's simply remarkable. I mean, I get a hangnail and it screws up my golf game, but I understand that
golf game?
You were playing the finals on a broken foot.
Yeah. I blocked a shot in Game 5, and when you block a shot, it typically hurts pretty bad, off your skate. But you say you have to leave the skate on, or else it's going to balloon up and you won't be able to get it back on. So, so I played through the rest of the game, it hurt like crazy. It was super painful, but it was all right. I got through it, and I didn't want to leave and make the team down a guy for the game. You can't do that at this time of year. Right. So grinded through it, got an x-ray after the game at the rink there in Edmonton, and, it didn't show anything. So, we're all right, it's just a bone bruise. Typically those x-ray machines at the rink, we call them bone bruise machines because they rarely ever show. So all right, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it was broken or not. I'm still playing. I'm playing Game 6 at home. It doesn't matter what it shows. So, I didn't skate, obviously, the next 2 days in between, and then morning skate, couldn't do it. I couldn't try. I couldn't even try. The goal was to just go for the game. You're just going to suck it up, get some meds shot up a little bit and just go for the game. That was kind of the only way to do it. So leading up to Game 6, I was pretty nervous because I was struggling to walk around. And, I had to change up my pregame routine for Game 6 a little bit. I couldn't do my warm up I usually do because my foot was hurting so bad. But the doctors and the staff, took care of me. They took away a lot of the pain that I had for the game. So when I got out there for Game 6, I was feeling good. I didn't really feel it, to be honest. But, played the game. We won. Celebrated pretty hard for a couple of days, right? And it was about 4 days later, I think it was, we were doing we had like a couple boats. We had the cup on the boats. We were going to different bars along the intercoastal there, and I'm on the back of the boat, and I'm thinking, my foot is absolutely killing me. Like, it's getting worse and worse. The farther we're getting, I'm like, this isn't a bone bruise. So I told one of the trainers on the boat, I'm like, hey man, like, we got to get a picture thing. Like, I'm hurting. So the next day was our exit meetings and medicals. And sure enough, we get the X-ray, and we're like, oh yeah, it's broken.
Wow.
So that was kind of that, and I got it in the walking boot, and just I'll be fine. It's all good. It's so worth it.
God bless modern medicine, man. That's an unbelievable story. Is there an element to you try to keep that a secret because everyone's watching you, and there's 50 reporters at the game, and you don't want to tip off the other team that you might be injured?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to get anything leaked out. I think it was pretty obvious that I was hurting after that block shot. So, you could maybe see that was it. But yeah, I mean, we didn't say anything. Like I said, I didn't even know that there was a fracture until, 4 days after we won. So, that was how I found out about it. But yeah, I mean, basically my talk with the trainers was, well, whether it's a bone bruise or it's broken, like, I'm playing the next game. So, doesn't matter.
Jonah, I want to talk for a second about the importance of family along this journey. And we certainly know how much of a family person you are. Game 6, your mom, Tracy, is there. We've got a beautiful picture that we're flashing on screen right now. Mom, Tracy, Dad, George, your wife, Allison, 1-year-old twin kids, Lion and Adelie. Your brother, Davis, was there, his fiance, Lauren. Just talk to us for a minute, if you can, about that feeling, knowing they were all there the moment that you won the cup and what that meant.
It was so incredible having them there. That's those are the people that have been with me this whole time and supported me, and it's just so special to get to share it with them. They just, for me, sorry.
No problem. We're almost done. I know that feeling. There you go. Speaking of family.
Hi, Adelie.
Hi, Adelie.
Yeah, it was so special to have them there, and just to be part of it. I just they mean the world to me, like you said, and for my kids, obviously they're not going to remember this, but to look back one day and see the pictures of them in the cup twice, they're going to be like, what? Like, maybe Dad is kind of cool, So hopefully they say something like that. And, my parents, my wife, brother, Lauren, I just, those are my people. Yeah. So have them there just made it super special.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm a beard guy too, Jonah. What about your beard? Are you going to keep the playoff beard for a little while longer?
No, so my wife told me I had to keep it for at least till the parade because people wouldn't know who I am if I shaved it. Like that, I'm kind of known for the beard right now, so I think you're right. I think I got to keep it for a little bit after. But we just rolled in at home last night, and I think my wife's going to take me out back and help me shave this thing off.
That's great.
Good stuff. All right, there's 2-time Stanley Cup champion from the Florida Panthers, Jonah Gadjovich. Great chat, Jonah. We appreciate this. Hi to the family and enjoy your summer.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. It was awesome chatting with you and reliving these memories.
All right, I know it may look a little staged, but we did not tell Jonah, just for good measure, to pick up your cute, adorable baby for the world to see. But good of him to share his family.
The timing was unbelievable. Just he's talking about how much his family means to him and how they're his rock and they're his people, as he said.
Yeah.
There's his one baby to stand. No, it's great, and we look at these athletes and they put them on a pedestal and when you talk to a guy like Jonah, you realize just what they're all regular human beings. He just talked about how he had a road trip from Florida back to his house in Canada, and he's got a U-Haul out in his driveway just like everybody else does, and he's going to be out there, I'm sure, with his kids and the neighbors, enjoying a typical Canadian cut the grass. Yeah, it's great conversation.
Well, he said it right, going from lifting the Stanley Cup to changing a dirty diaper.
That's right. And I do hope that he does what I asked and reach out to Paul.
Yes.
And we'd love to get Paul Maurice on the show as well. We would take every member of a Stanley Cup champion team if they want to come on one at a time and tell us their stories, and we can verify which stories are accurate and which aren't. But definitely would love to have that happen. So we'll see if Jonah can work some magic.
Well, because clearly you and I can't.
No.
Hopefully he can.
Nobody answers
He can
us.
move the needle. All right. You mentioned it off the top. Going to take a couple of weeks off for some holidays. Enjoy hopefully some nice weather, and then we're back at it.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to how this podcast has come together quickly, but not quickly. We've had this idea for a little while of doing a daily podcast. It is the summertime. We thought we would give it a shot in this last week of June, kind of just to see how the pace works, what kind of shows we can put together. I think we passed that test. I think
I think
the shows, there wasn't what I would call a boring show. I thought they were all really interesting, and if you missed any of them, you can find them at the Closer Look page on your local homepage.
Absolutely.
Or wherever you find your favorite podcast.
I've got a long list.
As they say, yeah, I'll let you go through the list.
You can find us TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and of course, wherever you get your favorite podcasts, as Frisco mentioned, and across the Village Media Network. And reach out anytime, by the way, a closer look at villagemedia.ca. For Michael Friscolanti, Derek Turner, executive producer, I'm Scott Sexsmith. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the next few weeks. We'll see you next time here on Closer Look.